how did you tie it all together and make it all work with your family, your kids, your hobbies, your work, school? How did you tie it all together?
Great question.
And make it work.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I went to my dad in the early years of business and marriage and say, how do you find balance? Because I just felt out of balance all the time because of the significant demands of building the business. But this is, I think the principles behind here would be applicable to anybody. This is my particular story. So we've been, as a family, I'm married, I have 4 children, very involved in my church community, and then we have had the business. And those really were the 3 things that my activities of my life revolved around. My hobbies became whatever my children were interested in. So I made sure that my wife had time. That's where we started. I had to learn this, by the way. But I read somewhere that for a relationship to be healthy, there needed to be 13 hours a week of uninterrupted time. And I remember the moment I read that, I thought, oh my gosh, I don't give her half of that.
Yeah, and where do you find that time, right?
I just like, oh my, it's not there. So that those moments have to become moments of faith where you say, okay, that's the right thing to do, and I'm going to have to trust the people I'm working with. I'm going to have to trust the purpose and cause of what I'm doing. In this sense, I'm going to have to trust God to be able to support us because I'm trying to do the right things as a husband and a father. And I'm going to rearrange our life. So we did. We made adjustments to where my wife and I would get up early. We'd go walking every morning for an hour. I couldn't take the cell phone, super hard in those days. You're always worried that, gosh, system's not up, we're down,
Yep.
The right employees aren't there, whatever, but I had to trust my people, so that was very good. So we got an hour a day there I could guarantee, and then we made sure that Friday nights, Saturday nights we were together, and Sundays we were together. So she got her 13 hours. Every week I focused, we made a plan. This was in large part out of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits approach. But I made a plan every week on what my children's activities and interests were, and then I made sure each of them got time. Almost every night I would read to them stories before we went to bed, and then I would go back and work. But they had my time. They didn't know I was working. They were asleep.
Right.
So they didn't feel that. They had my time, and that allowed me to get to when they got older, to go to their ball games or whatever, but then I worked. So my didn't have maintain a lot of personal hobbies. My interests became what their interests were, which was great because they were my interest. From a spiritual and church perspective, I'm a morning devotional guy. So every morning I spend time exercising, prayer, scripture study. I did that all before they were awake. And I learned if I didn't build it in then while everybody was asleep, it didn't happen. Because they wanted my attention. So those things you have to decide how important they are to you. And for me to be able to keep a balanced life, those things became high priorities. And then all the rest of the time, that was work.